Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, coming at you with Game 1 of the MST Group 10. And this is going to be none other than Berserker, aka Iris. I'm going to call him Iris because it's just easier to call him Iris than Berserker all the time. And he's going to be playing against Hyun. Now, I feel I should be upfront and tell you that I just casted this game already, and so I'm recasting it because I casted the game. It was good commentary, and I went to export the MP3, and it turned out that at the 3-minute mark, Audacity, the program I use for recording audio, had frozen, and so it did not capture most of the audio. So I'm going to try and do the whole group. So I wanted, for completion's sake, to redo this. What I'm going to do, and I've done this a couple times before, and it works out pretty well, is I'm just going to say everything that I said in the first time. So that way I won't be saying like, oh, I know so-and-so is going to win. I'm such a cool predictor because I knew that beforehand. I'm just going to say what I thought the first time around, if that makes any sense. Anyway, by the way, if you have not checked out Diggity's 1000th video, go and check that out. That is awesome. Yes, we've been doing this so long that we have made 1,000 videos. There's some people that have been doing it in a shorter amount of time that have even gotten 1,000. But I think Cholera has 1,000 videos, or more than 1,000. But yeah, we've been doing it for so long, and just slogging through it. So Diggity just put out his 1,000th video, and it was epic. He did a special video for it, and so you should definitely check that out. I'm actually coming up on my 1,000th video, but I don't think I could possibly come up with anything to match the epicness of Diggity's 1,000th video. So make sure you watch that. Even if I don't know how you could possibly be. Well, I guess some people maybe, but I don't know why you'd be a subscriber to me but not Diggity. But yes, moving on. So we've got a drone scout here going cross position from Hyun, which is kind of an interesting thing. He's I guess he wants to just double check, and he sees the SCV scout going to the same location, so he knows that's not the right location. He may be going for kind of a 2 hatchery rush, so he may be thinking about needing to know what Iris is doing beforehand. Also, Iris, there's some players that you don't need to scout as much because you don't know that they're not going to go for mech, but sometimes if you think they're going to go mech, you want to send a drone scout out to see if they're getting gas, just to check if that's the case, because you're going to need to prepare differently. You need to prepare differently for mech, and especially on this map, Hyun is not going to be able to scout with his overlord. It's a 4-person map, so he couldn't be certain that he'd be able to scout with his overlord to spot if there is mech or not. Obviously, the overlord is going to have a hard time going all the way into the base to see if they're getting their gas to go mech, but they're going to be able to camp outside the base nonetheless, and they're going to be able to tell if they're going mech basically by the marine count. So if the marine count is really low, then you can kind of expect mech to come out. Anyway, so we got a pretty standard 3-hatch build here coming from Hyun, which I was actually tabbed out, well, not tabbed out, but I was in another window looking up stats, and so I missed that in the first time around. So that is one thing that I'm going to correct, just because I kind of screwed it up in the first time around, and it's pretty obvious now that I'm actually watching the game that he's going for a normal 3-hatch build. Got this 3rd hatchery, and now his gas. Going to get some Zerglings out just to keep a little pressure on Iris. Now, Iris, he's an interesting player. He kind of a few years ago, he was very, very good. He was a top-level player. But that kind of ended, and Ling's moving in here, just doing a little bit of dancing around. I have to apologize that what I just said like 5 seconds ago, I don't know what I was saying exactly, because I had to stop the commentary, go back and do game 2 while this was loading, and now I'm back doing the rest of this commentary again, because not only did the MP3 program screw up when I was trying to record the commentary, but also then when I went back, I tried to, I said, I have to reset the game, so I dragged the status thing. I'm watching this on YouTube, by the way, while I'm recording. I dragged the status thing back to the beginning, and it reset the video and had to reload the whole video. So that's why just a few seconds ago, it got to the end of what it loaded and kind of queued up and it was it had to download more of the video, so that paused. So anyway, I apologize for that. All kinds of problems going on here in game one, but I think I was saying that Iris used to be very good, and now he's not as good anymore. Oh yeah, like a few years ago was kind of the end of his time of being like a top level player. He managed to somehow get second in the GOM Classic, and he'll do okay in Winners League or the Pro League sometimes, but in general has not been accomplishing too much since then. Hyun is a player that played really well in like November, a little bit in December. Beat some very, very strong players. Was one of the few Zergs to beat Flash around that time. And, well, still one of the few Zergs to beat Flash in the last several months. And beat Stork, beat some other good players. And some people were like, "Oh my God, he's the next big thing. He's gonna, oh my God." So that's how people talk when they're excited about Hyun. But at the time, I was kind of like, well, let's see if he's actually really that good. And I went around, and I watched his replay or his VODs really close, and I kind of looked at his record, and I was like, I think it's a fluke. And sure enough, he's turned out to be a fluke. He's not really accomplished a lot of success. He hasn't been winning a lot of games very much for MBCgame. So, yeah. Anyway, so we do see the 3-hatch meetup, but we saw a den go down very, very, very quickly there. Normally, with 3-hatch muta build, you're going to build your den after your first 9 mutas. And in this case, he's actually built them, built the den beforehand. So we could be seeing a bit of a rush. And again, that's actually something that I also kind of messed up. Well, I was saying that usually you build the den after your mutas, but I thought he was still going mutas beforehand. But this time, we can see obviously that he is going for Hydras, going for Lurkers very quickly. He's actually getting a Queen's Nest down as well, so he is really going to try and tech very quickly. And probably just going to try and get Hive Tech as quickly as possible. He's going to probably just use his Lurkers to hold a third base, try and capture that bottom right base. You can see already he's got a hatchery morphing down there. There we go. And so he's probably just going to put Lurkers down there on the ramp and just protect that base and try and go for 3 bases and hold off those Lurkers. I don't expect him to go for an actual frontal attack. And there's the Lurkers. He's got a lot of Lurkers morphed already. 6 Lurkers already. Normally in a Lurker rush, it's hard and they get only a couple out, but because he didn't build the mutas, he had a lot of extra gas and what have you. Here he comes out with the mutas. I'm sorry, with the Lurkers, and a couple get caught off guard. He's going to have to split up his Lurkers there. Very unfortunate. He was trying to get them all out there. I don't know if Iris may have comps out of this, but he may not have known that those Lurkers were there until he saw it just then. Probably putting down a bunker in his front door right now if he hasn't